Hello, welcome back to another episode. In this week's episode, I'm going to be answering one of your questions. I sent out an Instagram story, I think it was, asking for any questions that you guys wanted answered because it's been a while since I've done it. And I got a really good question that I thought I'd make an episode on. So today's question is, how do I create peace in my life if all I have known is chaos? I've been watching and reading your content lately and beginning to realise the trauma in my household and how much chaos it created in my life. And I think I am still doing this today. What's your advice? So thank you for the question. I'll leave this person anonymous. And I think this is a question that could benefit a lot of us. Many of us probably can resonate on some level of what it feels like to grow up with an element of chaos. And especially if we find it difficult to find peace and structure in our own life, how to find balance of both stability and excitement, because we don't necessarily want life to be boring either. And how to tell if you are creating chaos in your life and maybe don't realise that that's a habit that's playing out. So if either of those would be helpful for you, stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that button. It really helps us out here on the channel. So, as an adult, you may be more comfortable with chaos because it's familiar. You know what to do with chaos, especially if it's something you've grown up with. You might have no idea what on earth to do with relaxation, with peace, just with contentment. So sometimes we can create chaos or find someone or gravitate toward other people who have it themselves for us to fix or get entwined with. But as you know, eventually we get tired. So we're tired of constantly cleaning up a mess and trying to fix things. And when you get tired enough, you'll know you're ready to find peace through sheer exhaustion. So there's this pervasive belief among chaos enthusiasts that a structured or less chaotic life is boring. And they might think that that we have to live in absolute chaos, or the total opposite, resign ourselves to a 9 to 5 job that we hate, living in the suburbs or having the same dinner every night and falling asleep to TV. And that's a boring existence. Just because we don't want chaos doesn't mean that we're automatically subscribing ourselves to the opposite type of existence. We might not be able to fathom what life looks like without crisis or risk or fear, or even on a lower, more subdued level, which I see in a lot of my clients, is just having that habit of something to fix, something to do. And that's because peace and routine maybe feels a bit frightening to someone who has never experienced that. When things are chaotic, you know what you'll get. It's predictable, you'll get more chaos. That's what you can rely on. But when things are calm, here's some things I would invite you to ask yourself is, what would my life be like if I didn't have to fix someone or something? What would peace feel like for me if it's not this boring extreme of 9 to 5 job and repetitive life? What would peace look like for me? And what am I getting from all the chaos that I'm engaging with, all those cortisol spikes, the drama? What am I potentially getting from that? And it's not a criticism question, it's genuine curiosity, because we might be getting something from it. And if we are, if we can figure out what that need is, we can go for it more directly in a different way that doesn't involve chaos. So I suppose there's good chaos and there's bad chaos. We can actively choose good chaos because it's fulfilling and in line with our values. Destructive chaos is the one that hurts. It's not fulfilling and not in life with our values. It actively hurts us physically and mentally. So some common examples might be living in an environment with verbal, physical, or emotional abuse. It might be having zero structure or routine. It might be in an abusive relationship. It might be financial insecurity, housing insecurity. I know this is at an all-time peak right now. Not knowing where your next meal will come from, or having to walk on eggshells around people close to you because they're so emotionally volatile. I suspect that last one will resonate with a lot of you if you're watching content on this channel. But I want to make this very clear. I don't think that all the bad chaos that I've mentioned is necessarily someone's fault. People may be subjected to this type of chaos without for many reasons. And sometimes we keep ourselves locked in these chaotic patterns simply because they are familiar. And we don't believe that we deserve better or just don't know how to create anything different. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Some of you might be listening to this and thinking, I don't have a choice. My life is chaotic because of this thing and I can't do anything about it. You might be right. You may have illness, job loss, kids, divorce, death. Something else appeared at your door and just totally turned your life upside down overnight. Things can be chaotic and you don't want them to be this way. But when this happens, we often have to find a way to ride the wave and ensure we're not making it harder for ourselves. Can you ask for help? Will you set more boundaries, which may require bravery from you? Can you release some of the pressure on yourself to do this perfectly? Living a chaotic life isn't actually exciting. It makes you locked in a constant state of stress, so you feel like you're not really living, and you're not if you're in chaos. Mentioned before, I think in another post, that everyone has a different stress tolerance, and the amount of stress that feels right will vary from person to person. You've got to identify for you what peace and fulfillment looks like for you. So try to answer these questions for yourself. What in life brings me the most distress right now? And does any part of this also feel fulfilling to me? What seems to be the most significant stressor in my life? And does any of this bring me fulfillment or other positive feelings? How do I feel when things are calm? Am I the hurricane? Or am I surrounding myself with hurricanes? What would I need to change if I wanted a more peaceful life? What excites me? How do I like to be challenged? The right amount of excitement in your life will feel exciting and allow you to sleep. It'll feel stressful at times, but it'll be fulfilling. Like trying to learn a different skill, switching to a different job industry, publishing something of your own. All these sorts of things that can stress us and stretch us, but still feel fulfilling in some way. It'll challenge you and make you can rise to the occasion. This level of stress will help you grow and achieve new things. That stress level will allow you to enjoy things and rest and care for yourself. So we're not subscribing to a boring life. We want to be stretched and fulfilled, not in chaos. And I suggest starting small. For the person, start small. Is there one thing that you can do to make your day a little bit more structured or calm? It might help to start with in the morning or an evening routine and then build from there. Just if you don't have breakfast, start with breakfast. I'm going to have breakfast every day. I don't usually do that. That would represent structure to me. Making that a non-negotiable. I eat breakfast every morning. Or every time when I come home from work, I'm not going to look at my phone for the first half an hour, even though I can see there's like 17 things there on my lock screen. For half an hour, I'm not looking at it. Whatever that represents, peace for you. So I hope this is helpful, not just for the person that asked it, but for those who may be listening and resonate with the things mentioned in this episode. As always, please feel free to leave a comment describing your experience. Hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.